Welcome back. And as we said, that Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Ahmed Isa, held a meeting with members of Coordinating Committee to follow up with the tourism sector on the preparations taken for Egypt hosting the COP27 in the upcoming month, November, the conference and parties of the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, and that is going to be held in the Rasi Resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. And to shed more light over that huge event, we're very delighted to be having with us live over the phone Dr. Yehya Abdul, the tourism expert. Good morning, Dr. Abdul.
Good morning, Ms. Zina. How are you?
How are you doing, sir? First of all, could you please shed light over the recent preparations by the Ministry of Tourism and the tourism sector in general ahead of the Egypt hosting of the COP27 in upcoming November this year, and also what is expected on the part or on behalf of the tourism sector to be taking place?
Well, actually, as you already clearly outlined, Mr. Ahmed Isa, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, last week he has been heading an executive committee in charge of regulating and following up on the latest developments of the COP27, the UN Climate Change Conference. They've been checking tourist facilities, resort hotels, convention and meeting venues, being thoroughly inspected for the up-and-come, mega event of the COP27 and at the international and reputable resort of Sharm el-Sheikh.
Right. How can the COP27 that is going to be held in the green city of Sharm el-Sheikh, how is it going to be a chance to promote tourism and maximize the role of Egypt supporting, or the role of tourism in Egypt supporting a huge venue for the national economy?
Well, really, over decades, the reputable resort of Sharm el-Sheikh and Egypt had been host to a large number of world events, conferences, summits, festivals, and celebrations. And they promote the MICE, which is a meeting and center convention and exhibition, which generates significant revenues to any hosting destinations. Remember that, we'll be receiving, inshallah, in next November, world leaders, and top level of politicians, environmentalists, world media representatives, and foreign delegates representing over 100 countries coming to Egypt to join this critical conference due to the serious setbacks that have been inflicted on our planet recently. So this is a mega event that's going to promote the convention and meeting business in Egypt, and especially in this reputable resort of Sharm el-Sheikh.
How do you assess the different initiatives that were taken by Egypt to be able to prepare for the upcoming conference, especially that those initiatives are dealing with different environmental important steps, mitigating the effects of climate change and preserving the environment and maintaining the ecosystem and maintaining the biological balance and all that? Egypt have taken a wide step, setting awareness for all those issues.
Well, really are quite true, and this sounds so clear because remember a few days ago, President Abdul was addressing, the World Economic Cooperation Forum held in the administrative capital of Egypt, and they mentioned Egypt will be adopting the green hydrogen, mitigating and limiting, the emissions, the CO2 emissions, that pollute and, destroy the environment to a large extent. And so, and we are introducing now the cars, manufacturers and powered by electricity. Egypt have one of the largest solar energy panel locations worldwide in Aswan. So really, the government over the 4 or 5 past years have been working diligently to mitigate, and eliminate to a great extent the detrimental role that the environment, and CO2 emissions caused to the environment in Egypt, and that's why we've been adopting, like green hydrogen, solar power panels, and solar power, and the windmills as well. So we are trying to diversify and keep our energy sources clean to keep a safe and secure environment.
Right. Also, if you like to elaborate over, as one of the top tourism experts in Egypt, you, Doctor, if you'd like to elaborate over Egypt promoting the ecotourism as part of the Sustainable Development Strategy for 2030 and also sustainable tourism.
Well, really, Mr. Ahmed Isa, like with his selective team, they've been working, diligently to promote ecotourism in Egypt, like look at Fayoum, Aswan, Luxor. We're trying to minimize, like the effects of the emissions. We're trying to reduce, like the leftovers, and try to recycle, whatever, like the hospitality industry produces, because this is one of the accusations that hospitality uses extra food, energy, water, excessive. So the Ministry of Tourism is working a project to recycle, like all these, like leftovers, and incorporate it in the environment in a healthy, safe way. For example, like all of the resorts of Sharm el-Sheikh are using solar energy and solar panels to produce like hot water for like the laundries, for the cleaning, for the recycling, and making green areas, like in the desert, faraway locations in Egypt. So this has been a very sophisticated strategy applied by a Minister of Tourism, Antiquities, and his selected team to apply this vision and strategy.
Also, how can the tourism sector share or help in or take its role in raising campaigns, help the state raise campaigns or wage campaigns, raising awareness regarding the climate change and the definition, a good definition of the climate change and standing up to the challenges. So where do you see the tourism sector in that particular part, and what exactly could be able to present in that role?
Well, definitely, like tourism industry worldwide has a major role because we have billions of travelers and passengers worldwide. They travel by air, by road, by sea cruises. And as I already mentioned, tourism has been accused of excessive use of energy and all these, like transportation and moving, like approaches. So the Ministry of Tourism, and the tourism worldwide, and this is through the UNWTO, the United Nations World Tourism Organization in Madrid, they're trying to emphasize to travelers to reduce energy, like for example, resorts worldwide now, they are not using like bathtubs anymore, they're using like showers, and they are, like advising residents and hotel guests, maybe sometimes, like the bed sheets, if they are clean, they are not going to be changed to save water for, laundering and all this. So hotels worldwide have been working hard to produce its own energy, to reduce the waste, food and beverage waste, which is the outcome of the millions of visitors at the hotels in the resort. And hotels and airlines and all the vehicles and instruments of tourism has been applied to the past 4 or 5 years strategy to instruct and keep awareness for travelers that to keep, using energy to a minimum, and in many ways to make it, useful for the environment and not to be threatening our planet anymore.
Right. How important is the role played also by the natural reserves, notably when it comes to preserving the natural resources and the biodiversity?
Well, of course, this is the role of governments, worldwide. That's why Egypt is, presiding over this critical UN conference, for the climate change. And look what has been, happening in the past 10 years of brush fires worldwide, tornadoes, many, flooding, in Asia and Europe. So worldwide, like governments are working to lessen and, like control the damage created by the authorized excessive use of environment. And that's why President Sisi yesterday was addressing like the leading countries that have top industrial productivities of 10, 15, 20% of world economy, that they have to allocate large budgets to combat the damage, like caused by this excessive use of industrialization. So growing countries like developing countries like Egypt and Africa and Asia, they are doing their like share, but leading countries, like post-industrialized, they have to share in of the damage that's being created by excessive energy of very high productivity.
Right. Tell us, Dr. Abdul, what is expected to be innovative and inspiring ideas prepared in store for the visitors of the upcoming conference, COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, inshallah?
Well, as you see, like the whole, like administrative, like apparatus of our government has been working, like diligently since we've been, like honored by presiding over this and hosting this, like exceptional COP27 environment after the Glasgow and the former, like agendas that has been adopted. And we're going to have like about maybe over 10,000 participants coming worldwide. So Sharm el-Sheikh is going to be a hotspot worldwide, and this is a very critical issue because it involves the whole planet, like the whole 8 billion inhabitants of our planet that has been exposed to the damages, like of excessive and the abuse of the environment. So we've been like keeping and like checking thoroughly on our resorts for the accommodation, for the transportation, and for security and tourist facilities, and there's going to be programs for them so they can visit, like and enjoy, like Sharm el-Sheikh, like the driving centers, the museums, and the activities, and have some free time prior, like to the convention or post-convention to do safaris and sometime go to St. Catherine and enjoy this unique environment and site of Sharm el-Sheikh that overlooks the Red Sea, and it has an extensive areas of Bedouin life and Sahara that covers, like that region of attractive location of Egypt.
Right. How also could the tourism sector and the Ministry of Tourism be able to promote and market for other seasons to the visitors by promoting campaigns, by showing them some programs, or by giving some offers? I mean, talking about Egypt to the visitors of COP27, especially that they're going to come from all parts of the world.
Well, really, like this season, like is exceptional one because the kind of conflict that we have internationally on the international scene, and the energy shortage, like that Europe will be facing, like is coming like a freezing winter. So we expect, like international inflows of visitors from Europe to come to Egypt and spend, like the winter season at the Red Sea resorts. And shortly, within 3 months, we're going to have like the World Cup in Doha, Qatar. And many, like fans, like of football worldwide, they like to come to stay in Egypt, like, and then fly to Qatar to, like, enjoy the game, the contest, like between different World Cup teams. So really, we're going to have a good season because of the energy crisis that's going to draw a large number of visitors to Egypt, and we have the exceptional, like event of the World Cup in Doha, Qatar as well. So these are two main events that's going to make next winter a hot spot for Egypt and a good season, inshallah.
Right. Dr. Yehya Abdul, the tourism expert, would like to thank you, sir, so much talking to the Breakfast Show. And you have a good day. And by this, we come to the end of this edition of the Breakfast Show for this morning. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again tomorrow morning, that's a goodbye.